My brother killed my mother. He did it within the shadows of the lighthouse. He did it in the dark, where you couldn't see the ivy twisting up the lighthouse bricks, where you couldn't see anything but the night and those things that wished to have been seen within it. He split her open at the ribs. He shoved her insides into his mouth, starting with the lungs before finishing with her heart. I know this because I watched him do it. Wesley smiled at me while he ate, the sweeping beam of the lighthouse casting his features in an ethereal glow. "I'm doing this for you, little brother," he rasped between mouthfuls. "I'm doing this for all of us. Someday you'll understand." That was an eternity ago, 30 years give or take, and I still don't understand. I doubt I ever will. I was only 3 years old at the time. What I was doing there with Wesley, how I even got there, I can't recall. It's a labyrinth of memories, a maze I've never stepped inside for fear of losing myself within it. All I know for certain is that Harriet found us. My sister. She wandered down from the cottage, calling our names for supper. I remember her lantern bobbing in the black, her light spilling across us, her look of nausea as she saw Wesley's blood-stained teeth and our mother's twitching limbs. The scream that she loosed sent ravens flying from afar. Father came running. He appeared with a hatchet, and I think he would have taken Wesley's head if the bastard hadn't run. He tore off into the dark. He ran right into the phantom wood, that clutch of the pines and the oak we were forbidden to enter. And that was the last time any of us ever saw him. "He's dead," Father told us. "The wood devoured him, the same as he devoured her." If you ask my sister, she'll say it wasn't my fault. Harriet insists that there was nothing I could have done, that I was only 3 years old, and Wesley was 17. And if I had had so much made a peep, he'd have killed me too. But Father insists differently. Or at least, he did. He's dead now. Harriet found him strung up in a tree, hanging limply in the autumn sunset. His corpse dressed in hungry crow. 2 sticks jutted from his eyes. Sigils had been carved roughly into his cheeks. Pieces of him that belonged inside were spilling out onto the yellow grass, while his intestines wound a twisting trail toward the phantom wood. "I won't follow them," Harriet wrote in her letter. "The intestines, I mean. I know that's what it wants me to do, whatever killed him." I saw him speaking with the decrepit one recently, down by the creek, but you don't think that she could be involved, do you? The implications sent a shiver down my spine. The decrepit one was a creature my family knew well, an ancient being that held vast, terrifying power. She had long sought control of our land, our lighthouse, and I hated to think of what she might be able to do if she got it, but this didn't sound like her. The decrepit one cared little for theatrics. She took lives with ruthless efficiency, not ritual torment. This was different. Whatever had killed my father had done so with rehearsed cruelty, taking care to leave a spectacle behind. It wasn't murder. It was desecration. Father's corpse represented a message, but what that message was, I couldn't say. Harriet had her own thoughts. "It's an omen, Jasper. Even I know that. You can't run from this. You can't hide from it because we're tied into this land. Our blood belongs here." Tears marked the page. Her writing became sloppy and hardly legible beneath the smudged ink. Father's words echoed in my mind. The last words he spoke to me, he told me that abandoning Gloomfall meant consequences far beyond our land, that the horrors of our lighthouse, kept at bay, would begin to seep into the rest of the world, corrupting it, haunting it, eventually possessing it. You want to know the truth? The truth is that I'm afraid of whatever killed Dad is going to come back. And when it does, I'm not sure I can deal with it alone. I need you, Jasper. I've never asked you to come home, but I'm asking now, if only for a while. Think about it, would you? Harry. My eyes scanned those words, once, twice, half a dozen times. Tears leaked down my cheeks, and I wiped them away, crumpling up this letter in my fist. 10 years. 10 long years I'd been gone, adjusting to a normal life, forgetting my nightmares, moving past from my guilt, and finding a slice of happiness. And now this. Harriet was calling me back. You've got to be kidding me. I seethed, pacing my bedroom. My mind raced for a reason to throw it in the trash, to forget I ever even read it. I hated Gloomfall, the lighthouse, the wood, but what I hated most of all was that Harriet was right. Father's death was an omen. I knew that better than anyone. Omens belonged to me. Father called them a gift, but if he'd seen them, he'd know they were a curse. I'd seen things, always as a boy. I saw our chickens stricken with disease long before the illness ever came. I saw storms before we ever even felt the rain. I saw creatures, awful and twisted, picking apart travelers through the phantom wood, feasting on their bones and drinking deep of their blood. I saw all of it the same way I'd seen my brother eat my mother, a week before her heart ever touched his lips. Tragedy. That was all that the omens were. They told stories of grief and pain, and I thought if I left Gloomfall, then maybe I could save my family their torment, salvage what remained. I hoped that deep down, all of the terrible things we suffered were actually my fault. That I just tucked my omens and left, then all of it would have gone away. Idiot, I said to the mirror, shaking my head. Nothing but wishful thinking, was it? I knew then that my life wasn't that sort of bad dream I gotta wake up from. I never would. The lighthouse was calling to me, pulling at my mind, begging me to come back. So I did. Like a whirlwind, I swept my keys from my computer and flew down the apartment steps. I couldn't stop and think. If I did, I might do the smart thing and reconsider. I might turn back. I flung open my car door, got inside, and twisted the key into the engine. It rumbled to life. My foot hit that gas pedal. I backed out of the driveway. Then I backed out of the city. My job, my happiness. I backed out of the only peace I'd ever known and hit the open road, driving toward the hell on earth. I drove 1,000 miles, and then I drove 1,000 more. I drove on until the road turned to gravel, to dirt, until it ended in the heart of the forgotten forest. Only then did I hit the brakes. A knot of the trees rose before me, their limbs twisting and interweaving as if to create an archway. From the branches hung red-orange leaves, swaying weakly with the cold breath of autumn. I gazed into the tangle of wood, the ocean of darkness so pure that even my headlights couldn't pierce through the surface. My fingers trembled as I opened the car door, my knees nearly buckling as I took my first step out onto that ancient land. My breath fogged in front of me. Even here, on the outskirts, I felt fearing seeping into me. It infested me like insects scurrying across my mind. Such was the magic of Phantomwood. I pulled my jacket tighter about myself, stalking around the car to the dull crunch of leaves. My fingers found the cold metal of the trunk. I opened it. Inside was a lantern along with a bag of letters. I'd written them hastily. They described things I was looking forward to, things I cherished. My father taught me a long time ago that safe passage through the Phantomwood didn't come freely. You have to prove that you deserve it. You needed to light the way with your will to live. I lit a letter aflame, stuffing it inside of a lantern housing. It crackled to life. The paper curled into a black smoke swarm upward, providing me a dim glow. It wasn't much. It was hardly enough for me to see my own 2 feet, but it'd have to do. My only hope was I had written enough letters to last me the trip. Gloomfall was hours away. If I had more time, I would have written surplus, but I didn't. Truth was, I had no time at all. Like I said, omens belonged to me. I owned them. The night Harriet's letter arrived, I'd been visited by a new omen, a fresh one in the form of a dream. In it, I saw a being, a vast creature with eyes of burning embers and long crooked limbs. It sat perched above a body, a woman's. Her hair was the color of chestnuts, and her eyes were an ocean blue. But she had a head that was lying 6 feet from her corpse. A head that belonged to my sister. Now, before you leave the video, this is episode 1 of a new series that I'm doing on the channel. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. It definitely is about to get really, really crazy. So, if you want to make sure to see the next episode, or you want to see any other content that I create, make sure to like, comment, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We've got a lot more content, a lot more coming. I know my schedule is still wonky, but hopefully it'll be back to normal how it used to be very soon. Got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, and yeah, not getting into that. But make sure to check out the links in the description as well, like Twitter, Instagram, everything like that, including my Gmail if you would like to submit a story. I would love to do some subscriber stories. But with that being said, stay safe, stay scary, and I'll see you in the next one.